Hello. Today we take a closer look at the mighty pork chop, one of my favourite cuts of pork. We look at the best way to cook them, specifically cooking them in a way that doesn't dry out the meat, which can definitely be an issue. Right, let's start by cutting into the fat and skin at 1 inch intervals. This stops the meat from curling up in the pan as it cooks and allows the fat to render just that little bit better, which means crispier fat and crispier skin. What's not to love? It's a good idea to try and get fairly thick pork chops, at least 1.5 centimetres, and let's pat them dry. Removing any surface moisture helps to allow the meat to brown quicker. As the old saying goes, you can't fry water, so let's get rid of as much as we can. The quicker we brown the chop, the sooner we can get it into a very low oven and away from the heat of the pan, which may lead to overcooking and drying out. Okay, heavy frying pan on and a medium-high heat. Add a drizzle of oil and a knob or two of butter. Once that gets all foamy and nice, it's in with our chops. We want a really nice sizzle going, but not too aggressive. Don't be tempted to move the meat about or look on the other side for at least 3 minutes. Let the heat do its work. In the meantime, to keep you busy, we'll prep 1 clove of garlic. Chop or smash, whatever you fancy, just not too fine as it's more likely to burn. Right, we're getting a fair bit of rendered fat coming from our chops, so it's a good time to take a look and see what's going on. That's a lovely bit of colour on the chops and that fat is crisping up really nicely. Time to add the garlic and a little bit of dried tarragon. If you want to use fresh herbs, add them later at the deglazing stage after the chops are removed. Let's season with sea salt and black pepper. If you need to render that fat a little bit more, you can hold the chops fat side down in the pan. This will cook the fat but protect the meat from overdoing. It should take around 3 or 4 minutes cooking on each side. If it's much longer, you'll be in danger of drying them out. They want to be about 2/3 cooked at this stage. The issue with the chops drying out is the main body of the meat in a chop has very little fat or marbling running through it. It's really only on the outside edge of the skin. We need to add fat to keep the meat juicy, so we add it to the pan and cook the last stage in a very low oven to let the chop gently come up to a safe heating temperature. These chops are now ready for a very gentle finish in the oven, which is set low at 80 centigrade or 175 Fahrenheit. They should take around 8 to 10 minutes, plus a few minutes resting when they come out. Now it's time to make a quick pan sauce to accompany our chops. Okay, we're going to deglaze the pan with some booze. Any wine or spirit you fancy. Calvados will work very well, but as I'm feeling extra bougie, I've got some Prune devie, which is frankly outrageous stuff and certainly not for the faint-hearted. In it goes, followed by some water. All the pan juices and water combine to create a lovely meaty stock, and as always, no need for stock cubes here. Thicken with a little cornflour or a light sprinkling of gravy granules, which will work just as well. Next, a nice dollop of Dijon mustard, and a few generous spoonfuls of creme fraiche or cream. Stir in well. If you don't want cream, you can simply omit that part and have a mustardy gravy instead. That works perfectly okay too. Our pork is now done and I'll rest this uncovered for only a couple of minutes. There we have it, beautiful colour on these chops and properly rendered crispy fat. They look great to me. All those crispy edges are bursting with flavour and the gentle heat at the end ensures we don't overcook the meat in the pan. Perfect. Right, let's pop these chops onto a plate and get some sauce over them. They smell incredible and I'm sure they'll taste pretty good too. Look how soft that meat is. Comes away from the bone, no problem at all. I think we've cracked it. Really juicy, tender meat and crispy fat and skin. Exactly what we're after. Tastes amazing with the sauce too. These pork chops would work really well with some crispy potatoes and a little sharp salad to cut through all the richness. If you haven't cooked pork chops before or you're having problems with them drying out, why not give this method a try? I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Let me know how you get on in the comments. As ever, if you've taken anything away from watching the video, why not like and subscribe? It's much appreciated. See you next time.